in a period lost in the unrecorded shadow of time, long before the Christian era, Indian merchants, warriors, philosophers, and religious preachers began their voyage to far-off lands across the ocean. They have left their indelible impact on the culture, faith, and worldview of the people of these lands. We take you on a voyage of rediscovery to witness these Indian imprints on the sands of time. I am again on sacred land, for this site on a hillock where the Khai River joins the South China Sea in Nha Trang in central Vietnam has been a place of worship for the Hindus for about 1800 years from the 2nd century. Sometime in the 4th century, a Cham king built a wooden temple here for Lord Shiva. However, armies from Java and China destroyed the wooden temple, although it was reconstructed more than once. In the year 965, Jaya Indra Varman I, a Cham king of the Narikela Vamsa or Coconut dynasty, built this as a brick temple and dedicated this to goddess Uma or Bhagavati. Since then, it has been a place of worship for more than 1,000 years. The deity is now known as goddess Ponagar. Historians believe that in this temple there were a massive gold Mukhalingam and a gold Bhagavati icon which were looted away by an invading army. There are many speculations about the name Ponagar. One such is that it was known as Punnagar, meaning land of gold in Tamil, which later on became Ponagar. The original entrance to the temple was a mantap at the foot of the hills before you climbed to the temple proper. These massive brick pillars, constructed in the 9th century, supported a boat-shaped wooden roof which was destroyed several centuries ago. Today, you walk up a side entrance staircase because the stairway from the old mantap is no longer usable. The architectural style of this main temple tower is patterned after Mission Type A main tower, which was destroyed during the Vietnam War. Historians like R.C. Majumdar believe that these temples were influenced by the Dravidian style of architecture from South India. There are several brick sculptures on the temple walls, like this one of Indra riding on his Airavata elephant, besides animal figures like a lion. People place incense sticks and worship some of the divinities in these brick walls. There are 4 smaller shrines in the temple complex at Nachang, in addition to the main tower for goddess Ponagar, also called Uma or Bhagavati. After returning from prayers in the sanctum, devotees also pray in the open yard outside. We are indeed grateful to the head priest of this Cham temple for allowing us to film his prayer to Lord Shiva in one of the shrines here. These priests call themselves Cham Brahmins. This area of the Champa kingdom was known as Kauthara in the earlier centuries. Uma Maheshwari is dancing at the entrance to the Sanctum Sanctorum of the main shrine. And then we have a darshan of the presiding deity Bhagavati Kauthareshwari with 10 arms. Bhagavati is seated on a yoni. The oldest objects in good shape here are 2 wooden elephants on either side of the main deity. Archaeologists believe that these elephants are more than 1,000 years old. A 9th century inscription at the doorway to the main shrine gives some historic details such as land gifts to the temple by the kings and others. Let us travel about 100 miles south from Kauthara to Panduranga. That is, in terms of present-day names, from Nachang to Pandrang. Yes, this is a temple in the outskirts of Pandrang, a name behind which the older name of Panduranga is hiding. The Po Klaung Garai Shiva temple was built in the 13th century during the reign of Jayasimha Varman III, king of Champa. Situated on a hillock, this is also a very active temple with an unbroken tradition of worship by devotees over 7 centuries. The 2 important festivals in Po Klong Garai are scheduled in April and June every year. While the June festival is on a much larger scale, we are here joining the April festivities. Devotees gather in the open yard in the temple complex with all their offerings to Shiva, including chicken and eggs as well as fruits and cooked rice. A dancing Shiva with 6 arms welcomes you at the tympanum above the entrance arch of the main temple tower. An ancient Nandi faces the sanctum in the vestibule leading to the sanctum. Led by the Cham Brahmin priests at the sanctum, devotees worship the Mukha Lingam, that is, a lingam with a face embossed on it. Although we were not allowed to use our lights for filming, we are grateful to them for allowing the camera. After the special festival puja is over and the offerings are symbolically presented to Shiva, the devotees begin to enjoy their sacred lunch. And then the priests join the devotees by sharing the lunch seated opposite to the main entrance of the sanctum. For the hundreds of devotees, it is time to leave after the festival at Po Klong Garai. Well, we also leave this ancient temple and continue our pilgrimage, as it were, to Po Rom, a temple in Tuan Hai province. Po Rom was constructed during the declining period of the Champa kingdom in the 17th century. This is also a live temple under worship. We have chosen to film only reasonably well-preserved ancient Hindu temples of Champa. There are many more temples in central Vietnam which are in a dilapidated condition, but each attracting a small group of Cham Hindu devotees. Shall we land in the 20th century and have a few glimpses of the interactions between India and Vietnam in recent times?
On October 10th, 1954, the city of Hanoi was liberated, and on October 17th, 1954, Pandit Nehru made his visit to the city, and he was the first foreign leader to visit Hanoi after its liberation. You can imagine the impact that it has had on relations between the two countries, especially his meeting with President Ho Chi Minh was so cordial, and the visit has formed the very strong foundation for building a very close and intense relationship between the two countries. This friendly relations and closeness was reflected in the moral and diplomatic support that India gave to Vietnam during the Vietnam War, which lasted till the mid-70s. After that, when the country got unified, India's relations were even closer because of the sanctions that were faced by Vietnam and of the economic problems that they had in rebuilding the country.
Phải nói là qua thực hiện các dự án thì cái quan trọng nhất là nhiều cái nguồn nhân lực khoa học công nghệ của Việt Nam đã được cử sang Ấn Độ để đào tạo. Chúng tôi đánh giá cao cái dự án về phát triển nguồn nhân lực phần mềm cho Việt Nam mà chính phủ Ấn Độ viện trợ. Về năng lượng nguyên tử thì giữa hai nước đã ký cái hiệp định hợp tác về ứng dụng năng lượng nguyên tử về mục đích hòa bình năm 1986 và đã được gia hạn là đến lần thứ 3. Và trong thời gian vừa qua thì nhiều chuyên gia của Việt Nam đã được sang Ấn Độ để đào tạo về năng lượng nguyên tử. Đây là những cái giúp đỡ rất là quý báu để tạo cái tiềm lực cơ bản cho cái nghiên cứu kỹ thuật hạt nhân ở Việt Nam. Một lần nữa xin trân trọng cảm ơn sự giúp đỡ quý báu của các bạn đối với nhân dân Việt Nam trong cái sự nghiệp xây dựng và bảo vệ Tổ quốc Việt Nam.
India and Vietnam have got their eyes particularly focused in the field of information technology. Right now, India is implementing two projects in Vietnam. One involves the setting up of a advanced resource center in Hanoi, in which the equipment comes from India and the building and other facilities are being provided by the Vietnamese side. The other project is to equip 6 universities right across Vietnam with their own departments of information technology, wherein India trains the trainers so that in the future generations, the Vietnamese themselves are able to train their own students. India and Vietnam portray a form of friendship that has been to mutual benefit, not only to the countries, but especially to the peoples of the two countries.
Madam Chu Thuy Quinn is a celebrity dancer, a leading icon in cultural circles, and a people's artist of Vietnam.
I am first dancer, go and study Indian classical dance. 3 kinds of Indian classical dance. First is Bharatanatyam dance. Second is Odissi dance, and the third Kathak dance. I have learned 1 year more for Manipuri dance. It's 4 kinds of Indian dance, very difficult for me. But I like and I feeling. Sometimes I feeling I'm not Vietnamese. After that, 1986, I come to Vietnam, and I have many performances of Vietnamese government give me for introduce about Indian dance. So first time Vietnamese with Indian dance in Hanoi is that time in 1986. Because I like very much Indian dance, so I want to teach younger people, younger dancer in my country about Indian dance.
We thank the government and people of Vietnam and take leave of them to proceed to Laos, our next fascinating destination for Indian Imprints in the next episode.